Hey everybody, Wick here. This is footage shot during a 5-day, 4-night backpacking trip through Grand Canyon National Park's Jim Canyon section along the western Tonto Trail. It's a trip my buddy George and I finished in mid-March 2025, so just a couple weeks ago. We originally set out with plans for it being a 7-day, 6-night trip, but we realized shortly after getting started that things were going to be needed to get cut down just a little bit due to some food shortage issues and one of my Aquamira water bottle droplets cracking and leaking. So wasn't anything bad. We managed to complete the full roughly 55-mile journey from the road leading into South Bass Canyon all the way back southeast to the Boucher Trail and out Boucher. It was a pretty entertaining trip. Had a little bit of rain, but mostly really nice weather and incredibly clear skies that let us see Milky Way and several planets and some of the more incredible dark skies I've ever seen in evenings out there. Yeah, so give it a shot and check it out and let me know what you think, and we'll see you later.
And George, underneath some ruins up here in South Bass Canyon. Down South Bass Canyon, you see all the snow up there on the north rim. A lot of snow. We had to fight our way down to get over to here too. A giant arch or hole or cave. Giant big cliffs out of this wall. We're still working our way down South Bass Canyon. George feeling spry in camp first night down here in South Bass Canyon. Both a little beat up right now. Some old man injuries after what do you think? 12 miles? 12 and a half?
Yeah, something like that.
12 and a half miles and 4,000-ish feet of elevation drop. Made it down here to camp. But I'd say it's pretty damn worth it. Morning, day 2. Hiked our way up to the Tonto Shelf finally. Working our way back east towards Ruby Canyon today. Got about an 8.5 mile day. Hiking up here where the views start to get big. saying goodbye to the Holy Grail rock up there on the top. And officially turning east and heading all the way down there. You can probably even see where we're going to exit in 6 days. Way down there, Boucher Trail near Hermits, past that big rock for sure. Long way to go.
We're drinking a little water.
And our first views of the Colorado River here. Finally, I left Denver on Friday night. It's Monday morning. Finally getting to see the thing. Some rapids down there. Working our way back into Serpentine Canyon. Go all the way back towards that giant red wall. And walk our way back out on the far side. They don't put bridges in here. And I can't fly. The Serpentine Rapids, I think?
That's what I would think.
Yeah, Serpentine Rapids. Where the dry wash of Serpentine Creek runs out of Serpentine Canyon down to the Colorado River. Making our way from Serpentine Canyon over to Ruby Canyon. In and out of this side canyon first. Working our way into the last side canyon of the day. And then out around this bend, and then that wall over there is the far side of Ruby Canyon. And that's where we're dropping in tonight. Should be water there, and make camp either there, or maybe carry some water out and camp on that point, just above the Colorado River. George walking through another cactus field. It's been a field of cactus fields today. Campsite up in the base of Ruby Canyon. Just a couple shelves up from, it's a dry drainage. There's a couple potholes of water in there, which is actually really nice. That's our water source for the evening. Underneath these towering walls. Doing some stretches. Looking back out towards Main Canyon and Colorado River. Night 2. Looking back up a moody Ruby Canyon here. Morning of day 3. Had some rain last night. Off and on. But getting packed up to keep heading east towards Turquoise Canyon today. Back on the Tonto Trail. Morning day 3. We almost got breakfast cooked and packed up and out of here before it started raining on us again. But the rains came back, so we're having a little oatmeal and coffee inside the tent here. waiting things out before we get going here. Got about 6-ish miles to go over to Turquoise Canyon today. The last 2 days we spent a whole lot of time. Some kind of rough trail going in and out of a lot of side canyons, but I think we'll be out over the river on the Tonto a little bit more today, and it should be a little easier walking, maybe, but maybe with some more views, assuming that the clouds don't sock us in so much we can't see. So we'll see how it goes. Almost out of Ruby Canyon now. You can kind of see the Colorado River down there. You see this big wall of rain. It's moving from the west towards the east, which means it's kind of coming for us. So, got the rain poncho on, getting a little wet, doing our best to get miles in before it gets worse. Need to cross all the granite seams on the north rim. Colorado River down there, you can't see it over the lip. We're working our way through the storm, back east towards Turquoise Canyon, all those clouds. High above the Colorado River. In a rainstorm. Some classic Tonto walking out here on the plateau. This is the LeConte Plateau. We gotta work our way in and out of 1, 2 side canyons before we get to Turquoise Canyon. Just that big wall out there in the rain clouds. Duck back in there, get some water, and set up camp for night 3 here. Another few miles. Scottish Highlands. I mean, Grand Canyon National Park. Rain. That's a pretty good drop down all the way to the Colorado River. This little ledge we're on. A couple thousand feet, maybe. 1,500, something like that. Poncho season. I'm coming across those cliffs behind me. All the way down there. A little over 1,000 feet maybe. The Colorado River. Get a tiny little break in the rain for some sun popping out. Hitting the top of this side canyon. We got one more in and out, and then we're heading over to Turquoise. Jim Canyons. Sun finally popped out a little bit. Managed to get a little bit better views of the canyon around us. Working our way over towards Turquoise Canyon. Just looking back west up canyon, you can see the storm that dropped some rain on us definitely dropped some more fresh snow on the north rim. Rolling into Turquoise Canyon, and I think there's a little bit more rain that's about to come sweep across us. We're gonna try to get some water here, eat some lunch, work our way back in and back out the other side. Try to find a place to make camp somewhere out on that point with pretty killer views tonight. Rain has definitely found us again, but we're beginning to work our way all the way back into Turquoise Canyon, and it's just gorgeous in there. Don't know how well you guys can see it with my face taking up most of the damn video, but pretty incredible. Almost all the way back to the back of Turquoise Canyon. Finally seeing our water source down there. seems like every other time I get my phone out, a plane flies over too, so good little plane noise back there. It's gorgeous back in here. Look at that pristine drinking water everywhere. No, I'm not joking. That's really what we're going to drink. We've walked out to the point on the east side of Turquoise Canyon. Come make camp out here for the night. A little bit on the ledge, on the Tonto shelf. Get out of one of those little side canyons we've been camping in like nights before. Because of views like these. I got camp set up here on a little plateau point in between Turquoise Canyon and Sapphire Canyon. Let's look at the Scorpion, that rock formation out there across us on the north rim. Pretty sweet spot. George is counting his food calories. It's just 360 all the way back in here to Turquoise Canyon. Evening day 3. It's pretty windy out here, but pretty incredible. Just waiting for the rest of the sunlight to go down, and it's gonna be cold tonight, but cannot wait to see all the stars and Milky Way and everything pop out. This is gonna be a crystal clear blue sky, well, dark sky night. See you guys in the morning. Good morning. We've made it to day number 4. We are stretching up, breaking camp here. Morning, day 4. The eastern point of Turquoise Canyon. We are heading east today. Pretty big day. It'll be a little over 8 miles, 8.5, something like that, depending on how things go. Go through Sapphire Canyon and Agate Canyon on our way to Slate Canyon. It's a quick trip to get the entrance to Sapphire Canyon. I think it was only like a little under 3 miles before we set up camp last night, but that's the entrance point to it right there. So we'll go work our way all the way back into that one, fill up with some water. We're just in a sea of cacti up here. Mix of these little smaller guys, definitely some bigger prickly pears all around here, but they're just for as far as the eye can see. Every flat open spot, just cacti everywhere. And the trail's not exactly the most defined trail through here, so oftentimes you find yourself skipping through cacti, trying to do your best not to get as many needles as possible into your feet. That's the Grand Canyon for you. Let's work our way back into Sapphire Canyon. Just ran into the first backpacker of the trip we've really seen. We crossed paths with an ultra runner who was out here dropping water for a future trip. But day 4, we've basically had this place to ourselves for the most part. You can see George there, and then looking back, that big guy there. It's called the Scorpion, which you can kind of see if you think about it as a scorpion while staring at a rock. Let's get this big spiny ridge off that top point that runs back north. And we look at it from above on a topography map. It Does kind of look like a scorpion. So there's that. Back here in the back of Sapphire Canyon, where you can see a bunch of water pools down the front. A little better view straight onto the scorpion. It did not sting us last night. Hopefully it will not sting us today. Or chomp us with its pinchers. One can hope. A little closer view of Il Scorpio. Working our way out of Sapphire Canyon. Just had what looked like to be a search and rescue helicopter just buzzing over top of us for a little bit. Hope that's nothing more than a little training exercise. Making our way to Agate Canyon, the latest of the gems, to work our way all the way around the west side of that, hop the drainage, and then work our way all the way back to the east side of it before we get back onto the shelf and keep moving further east down canyon. I got a view of the Colorado this morning. It's looking back west and the way we kind of walked from. That's looking down at, pretty sure it's Sapphire Rapids. Basically where Sapphire Canyon empties out. We are heading this way. Up and around that bend to try to get back into Slate Creek and Slate Canyon. Looking way down at Crystal Rapids on the Colorado River. We're up here on the Tonto Shelf, working our way east towards Slate Canyon. See George up there in the distance. All the way at the bottom of Granite Canyon in Grand Canyon National Park. So we have stopped on a point out here on the this is the west side, the west exit of Slate Canyon. Up here, kind of in front of Scylla Butte. But it's just 360, gorgeous out here. Also, I think this is the first time I've had my hat off in 4 days. Georgia back there. Set up shop, eat some lunch, and then work our way back through Slate Canyon. Back to the cactus fields. First look back into Slate Canyon. I'm gonna water up down there, hang out for a little bit, and then work our way hiking all the way back out the other side. Out beyond this little mountain in front of me and the point further out, camp above the Colorado. Also, there definitely was not a search and rescue helicopter earlier. There have been like 35 helicopters that have come by. Big business down here, helicopter tours. They're just coming to look at us. When you've been on the trail so long and rocks start to begin to remind you of narrow strip steaks, still a long way to go. Looking back into Slate Canyon, we were directly across canyon coming around that Scylla Butte a couple hours ago. Work our way all the way back there, get a bunch of water, and haul it all the way back out to where we are now, which is continuing east on the Tonto and find a camp somewhere out here on this point around the corner, just up above Boucher Creek where we'll head in the morning. So we've made it to where we are going to camp on night 4 here on the east point, exit point of Slate Canyon. Hauled a bunch of water out, and we're debating our plans at this point in time. This trip was originally going to be a 7-day, 6-night trip, but between foods issues and water treatment issues and potential fuel issues to mitigate the food and water issues, we're debating altering our plans, and it looks like we're probably gonna maybe end up cutting this a little bit short. Not in terms of distance. We're gonna finish at the top of Boucher and go out Hermits the way we were supposed to, but we're not gonna dilly-dally around down here as much as we initially thought. Looks like we probably won't go down to Crystal Rapids and check that out as a little side day hike, which is unfortunate, but yeah, either way, this has been an absolutely incredible trip, and the scenes right now, which hopefully will stay good because we're not expecting nearly as much wind tonight as we had last night, are pretty ripe for another cowboy camp, which I'm pretty excited about. Do that under the stars and see some Milky Way once again. So yeah, we're gonna get set up here. It's almost 5 o'clock, and get a little dinner going and get camp set, get ready for what appears to be a very big day 5 down here in Grand Canyon National Park. I can't set up here night 4. Just outside Slate Creek, in between Topaz Canyon. I'm gonna do a little cowboy camping up here. George is gonna do the same over there. We're in a sea of cacti. It's the Tower of Ra up there in the middle there. Looking back. First one on the right over there is Topaz Canyon, and we're going around that and then up the middle one, which is Boucher Canyon. And that'll take us up and out to Hermits tomorrow. So I'm sitting here in camp, and it kind of occurred to me that I've got these 2 old pairs of smart wool socks. I've got newer pairs since then, but these guys I've had for 7 or 8 years. Pretty sure I wore both of them 5 years ago, 2020, when George and I were last year together doing Tonto East. And I have blown holes in 3 of the 4 socks on this trip. So I think this trip is officially going to kill both of my my old time favorite pairs of socks. But as trips go, this one's pretty worth it. Adios, socks. Camp on night 4, looking back towards what we believe is Boucher Canyon over there. Hermit's Rest up there. Saw a little reflection off of what we believe now is Hermit's Rest, which led us to believe that's actually where the trailhead is in Pima Point, and I think we was maybe some headlights from a car or a reflection from somebody who just hiked out. But anyway, we're heading up and over to Boucher Canyon in the morning, and then working our way up to the top of Hermits. Morning, day 5. We are down here just outside Slate Creek, and we're going to work our way west into Topaz Canyon and then Boucher eventually. Get some water at Boucher Creek and maybe some coffee and breakfast there. Get an early start because we're going to try to hike all the way out to the top of Hermit's Rest today and make our way all the way out of the canyon. So we'll see if that's what happens. But woke up about 6:20 and get ready to roll. Cold morning, looking up at Diana Temple. Working our way back into these canyons. That's Topaz and then Boucher. Got about 13 total miles to go and picking up, I don't know, 4,100 feet of vert to get out of the Grand Canyon. Freaking beautiful spot down here. That's Topaz Canyon. We're standing right in front of us. And just to our left, it's right, is Boucher Canyon. There should be water down there in that creek. That's where we're going to gas up and load up to get ready to climb all the way up and out Boucher Canyon. Making our way down the edge of Topaz Canyon into the confluence of Boucher Creek down there, which may even have a little bit of like running water, which would be great. Then we're gonna climb up that gully right there, turn the corner, go around the point, go all the way up the top. It's about 4,000 feet. Yep. The awesome part about getting down at the bottom of the Grand Canyon is you run into running water. Finally, first time all trip that we've got here at Boucher Creek. Tough part about that is, though, to get out, you got to go all the way back up all of that. That's where we're heading. So we have worked our way back up into the zone where you can hear the helicopters again. It's pretty incredible. That creek down there is where we started our climb this morning. If you zoom in way down there, you can see a little camp set up. We actually crossed paths with that camp as we began our climb. And now we are way the heck up here with a lot more to go. And my finger in the picture. I don't know if you can see it up there. It's the Boucher Narrows here. We're trying to climb our way up through this narrow little gully. There's just steep rocks. Record, I can't see there. I'm staring straight in the sun also. But just up this little narrow canyon amid this vast Grand Canyon. We are just billy goating our way up. We've made it out of that narrow ass climb, and we are finally back up here on about a 4,000 foot level shelf. Still got a lot to go.
Man, does it feel nice to be back up here? Feel like you're back on top of the world again. Climbed up out of the bottom of that drainage. You got a big spider here. I don't know. Maybe a small tarantula. Maybe just a big old spider. We'll look it up when we get home. Just got a little bit of water. We're up on this ledge. We can try to get up on top of this ledge up here. Work our way back over that way to Yuma Point. We'll stop and have a little bit of lunch with a pretty spectacular view up there. We just came all the way up this canyon, which sounds funny since the last video. I think I told you we came up Medford Canyon, but that's kind of how this works. Is you just keep working your way up through canyon after canyon until you're on top of the Grand Canyon. Hopefully. See you in a bit. See Georgie out there on the right. Made it up to a little over 5,000 feet. We're just gonna keep riding the top of this ridge right out in front of us. Out to Yuma Point on that corner. You can see these insane views all the way back down to the very bottom of the canyon back there. And Georgie up here finding water, filling up underneath Yuma Point with one of the most incredible views of Grand Canyon or anywhere. Right over this ledge, that ledge down there. It's pretty incredible up here. Stop, have a little lunch, shake the cobwebs, make a push for the top. Up here at Yuma Point, we're gonna kind of hike along the ledge a little over 5,000 feet for a while. It's just, it's pretty incredible everywhere you look at it up here. There's George down there checking out a campsite he stayed at last time he was up here. We were originally going to stay here tomorrow night, but we're not permitted to stay here tonight. We're a little ahead of schedule because we were shorter on food than we wanted to be. But that's okay. So we're just going to go ahead and hike out. We're enjoying lunch up here, and it's pretty spectacular. Now we just got to work our way back over that way out Boucher Canyon. Give you an idea about where this campsite is that George stayed at last time. That's him way out there on that point, shooting video of his own self. But pretty ridiculous up here. You can see the Colorado way down there. You can see the Hermit Trail coming down that far wall. We're working our way up to Hermit's Rest, which is way up, right around that bend above George. And we just gotta work our way around this giant red band over here. And we get to the other side, climb up that gully right there. That's Hermit's. See the cabin up there on the left. That's home for the trip.